Hi, my name is Carrie Valdez and I do psychotherapy with children and adolescents. I wanted to talk to you today about stress and how stress affects your children. I also wanted to let you know that stress affects your children the same exact way that it affects you. So I draw this out for children in therapy, and that's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to draw out what stress does to your body and how it affects the body. This is really good for children because then they have a better understanding of what's going on inside of them, okay? So here we go. Bear with me with my drawings. So this is the brain, okay? We'll put some little squigglies. This is your brain, right? You got that. Right here, this is called the amygdala. This is what's triggered in the brain when there is a stressor, okay? So when there is a stressor, the amygdala is triggered. What the amygdala does is it releases hormones, stress hormones into the body. It releases cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine, okay? Now, after those things are released, here's your body. I'm gonna draw you a little person. Your person is very tall, apparently. Here's you. Put your face on. Okay. So when the amygdala is stimulated and the stress hormones are released, what it does is it sends extra blood flow to the extremities, which is the arms and legs. Okay? And this makes great sense because if we are stressed because there is a lion coming after us, we actually need to be able to decide how we're going to respond to that. This is when we get into what's called fight, flight, or freeze. Right? Now, if we're going to be doing any of these things, we need our arms and our legs to be doing the best possible job they can. Okay? So blood flow is going here, right? All we're thinking about is this. We're not getting as much blood flow to the brain. We're not getting as much oxygen to the brain. We are not thinking clearly. All we are focused on is how we are going to respond to this lion, right? Are we going to run away from this lion? Are we going to fight for our lives? Are we running? Are we just going to freeze? What are we going to do? Those are the only things that we're focused on at this time, right? So this is what this adrenaline is doing. It is increasing blood flow to our extremities. Here's the other thing that happens. Here's your stomach. It's actually dumping acid into the stomach because we are no longer digesting. The body is not focused on that. The body is focused on the extremities and getting yourself away from the lion. So acid is dumped basically to get rid of. The stomach is not going, oh, okay, this is nutrition, this is waste, this is nutrition, this is waste. We're not doing that anymore. It's going, let's get rid of everything. We're just plowing acid into there. That explains a lot, right? Acid dump into the belly. The other thing is that it releases mucus. This is why we have this. And they swallow, you know, people that go, it's because they have this constant mucus drip that is triggered by the amygdala releasing these stress hormones, okay? So we're not thinking clearly either. There's not enough blood, there's not enough oxygen. We're not rationalizing anymore. We're not problem solving. We're not living to the goals that we're setting. We're not doing a lot of things that we need to be doing at that time if we weren't being chased by a lion. When we got a lion coming after us, this is where we need to be. Fight, flight, or freeze. This is about survival. This is very good for us, right? This was a great thing. So the amygdala triggers, we got this lion facing us, our arms and legs are at the best possible place that they can be. They're getting everything that they need for us to survive the situation. Now here's the part that's not so good about the amygdala. This is the same exact response that happens in the brain with the stress hormone release, with the arms and the legs, that happens to us and children with test anxiety. that happens to us when we have issues with friends. Right? That happens to us when we, worry about being in the dark, when we have fears about our family, fears about our friends. I'm trying to think of some of the worries that some of my kids, fears of speaking. I have lots of kids that don't speak, okay? This is all the same response the body has as if it was being chased by a lion, right? So you can see how your body is actually impaired when it's not a lion and it's test anxiety or issues with friends or the dark or weather issues. And this affects you when it has to do with work or your family or stressors with your kids, right? Money. All this is the same. The body's response is the same. Now this is, I think, is a flaw, right? Because I'm not being chased by a lion. Why are we releasing, there went my earring, why are we releasing the same amount of hormones for a test anxiety as opposed to a lion chasing us? You know, I don't get that. However, this is the same response that's happening. It is the same thing that's happening in you as in your children. So, the best way to eliminate these stress hormones from the body, cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine, is through exercise. Now, I did not know that. I didn't, we all know that exercise is good for the body, right? And it's healthier, and you get endorphin releases and all these things, and it's really, really good. It's good for your heart, it's good for, I did not know that this exercise is the best way to get these stress hormones eliminated from the body. I think that's great. Now, the kicker is for the people that have chronic stress, the kids that are stressed all the time, the kids that have parents that are going through a divorce or family crisis, right? Money issues, bankruptcy, job losses, all these things affect your children just as much as they affect you. So these stressors is what the problem is, and getting these stressors out of the body quickly is going to be really helpful. So hopefully your kids are actually exercising every day because they're children. They should be running their sillies out. I tell parents that all the time. Let your kids run their sillies out. This is actually going to be really beneficial for them, especially when they have hard days at school. This is going to be really helpful. Make them run, because if they are experiencing any of these stress hormones, this is the best way to get it out. Now also remember that these are also the kiddos that aren't thinking that well, right? So they aren't making good choices at school. They aren't making good choices with their friends or at home because they are in a constant state of stress. Now, I do advise you to seek medical attention, right? Because if they are having this acid dump, you'll know. We're talking about diarrhea, constipation, ulcers, bad stomach aches, all those things that they could probably use a little relief with, and a doctor should definitely be involved. I also encourage you, if your kiddos are here, that they really need to get treatment in some way quickly, okay? Because this, when they are already having significant stomach issues, this has been going on for a while, right? So, this is what I present to the kids. If you actually want to present this and let them see this part of the video, that's also going to be helpful for them. I will give you solutions to this on the next video, so please stay tuned. In the meantime, you can email me through my website at Parent Talk with Carrie, or you can Facebook with me on Parent Talk with Carrie. Thanks, and until next time.